And so this is a good time to get into the Black Wall Street report. Just stick around and get some investment advice, Bruce, with former investment banker and the founder of Kids Who Bank. It's a really dope organization that has financial literacy classes for young people in 217 schools nationwide. If you'd like to bring Kids Who Bank to your school, email this sister here, info@kidswhobank.com. Please give your attention to the amazing Jatali Bellanton. Girl, did you see Black Wall Street trending on Twitter?
I sure did. Watchmen is no joke. I loved it.
Wow.
I loved
It
it.
was amazing, wasn't it?
Regina King, hands down. I always liked her. I always felt like she was underrated in the industry,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and she just lit the world on fire with that. Her
But to
role.
see Black Wall Street trending and all the white folks that did not know about,
How could you not know?
because the American school system is not teaching that. So they didn't know. They were like, oh my God. So people are posting these links to stories because they were educating themselves. Like, oh my God, 1921, May 31st. I didn't know that a mob of white people killed a bunch of black people and burned down black businesses.
This is why I feel like, and if that wasn't the only time it's happened in the history of the American history,
Right.
it's so important to me that African Americans, Black people, colored people, however you want to refer you to yourself, invest in a place where that can't really easily happen to them.
I mean, the Black Wall Street massacre is the single worst incident of racial violence in American history. No, this is not going to be in history books in America.
No,
No.
and it should be. And it's quite a shame because it's the same way they try to teach our children that slavery was indentured servants. There was a textbook, just what was it, last year or the year before that, in Texas, they were trying to teach the kids as indentured servants. Like, really? Excuse me? No, you enslaved people.
Texas again.
You can't call that.
Texas again.
Ugh.
Don't get me started about Texas. Jatali, speaking of Black Wall Street, what are we talking about today, sis?
So, 4 franchises investors can create a legacy with. Hopefully, Black investors that are listening can start these franchises. Number one, a travel company. We, as Black people, I think, and all the companies that I'm going to mention are going to be franchises that I feel better our society. Traveling is so important when you look at Travel Noir and Nomadness and all these Black travel agencies and companies right now and organizations, they're doing very well. So it only takes about $10,000 to start a travel company franchise. Start one. Be a part of that vibe.
Is that privilege just to tell people start one? It's only $10,000. Like, that's not a lot of money for a lot of people, Jatali.
Well, so I'm very big on saying, especially when it comes to franchising, create the contracts and find people that you could pull money together. If you could find 5 people and you each put $2,000 in, then guess what? That's $10,000 to start your business.
Pick up the phone and call on your friends and family. Don't text them.
Exactly.
Pick up the phone and have a conversation with them.
Yes, and make sure their mind is where it needs to be and that they're not going to be opposed to writing up the contracts and taking that risk and taking that, going in 50-50 with you or splitting it 5 ways with you.
Interesting.
So some of these are going to be more expensive, but some of them will be cheaper.
Okay.
A healthy food supermarket.
Number two.
That's number two. It takes about realistically 200,000 for equipment.
That's a lot of money.
It is. It is a lot.
I'm gonna poke holes. I like to poke holes, Jatali.
People sleep on the Black community. We have a lot of money in our community.
True.
Being a millionaire now is like basically saying I have $1,000 in my bank account. There are a lot of Black, especially influencers and young millennials and this new generation that are making the millions and are making $500,000. Invest in a supermarket in your neighborhood, a healthy food supermarket, hopefully, or a restaurant that would be good. Not a Chick-fil-A or something that has shown you that they are potentially racist, right? Dry cleaners, $50,000 to start a dry cleaner. That's equipment, that's your location. And dry cleaners have shown that they're a steady form of business that bring in money because no matter the neighborhood, there are a lot of people who don't like to go to the laundromat or have clothing that need to be dry cleaned. And then back on the lower end, a tax office. For as little as $1,000, plus the money that you would want for employees if you don't want to be the only person working in your tax office, you could start a franchise. And look at this company that recently we spoke about in one of the older podcasts that started a tax office franchise and they were paying for people to start their own tax office businesses.
Right, right,
We can
right.
start our own tax office franchise as Black people. So those are the 4 companies and franchises that invest made.
What are they? Just to dig a little bit deeper, and I want to wrap this up. Why should people invest in this?
To be clear, the reason why I chose those was because those are things that actually better the community and I feel like are good and give back to the community besides just making money. They're also things that give back.
But they make money, right? Because we can want
Yes,
to
they
better
all
the.
make
There's a
money.
lot of broke activists out here, a lot of broke people trying to better in their community.
The travel company, for instance, I know that I have 3 friends actually who own travel companies. They don't want to franchise the ones that they built, but they make an average about 30,000 to 40,000 a month off of their travel company.
A month?
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's inspiration.
Yeah, so, like and they're making that money off of just people don't like to plan their own vacations. On top of that, not only are they making this residual income monthly off of this business, they also have travel agents that they make 10% off of each travel agent besides the bookings that they make themselves, things of that nature.
Interesting.
The tax office, I have a friend who makes on an average about $200,000 during tax season. She only works during tax season, so she works basically
What?
4 months, 4 or 5 months out of the whole year. She makes $200,000. So
Wow.
and then she budgets that money for the rest of the year and kinda lives like a regular life the rest of the year so that she doesn't have to work at all.
I mean, with $200,000, you're okay for 4 months.
So and, so she has her employees and the 200,000, that's the money that she brings home
Mm,
with herself being one of the tax office agents, being a tax agent herself, and as well making sure that she has employees. So after she pays her employees, takes her percentage and files everybody's taxes, she's
wow.
bringing home 200,000 and not really doing anything.
Wow. Wow. In the supermarket?
And the supermarket, that varies. I know 2 people who own Black supermarkets. One is in actually Texas, we mentioned earlier, and the other one is in, Chicago, and I know it took 200 for them to create it, but it took them about 3 years before they were breaking even with the money that they put into equipment and everything like that, but by the 4th and 5th year, they were bringing in, I would say, about an average of 100,000, which might not be that much, but to me, I think $100,000 and you don't really need to ever be there at the supermarket. You have a manager, you have people who are running the supermarket. I think that's cool, especially in the fact that you're bringing healthier foods to your community and you're making sure that you're
Mm,
getting, grade A produce and foods for your community.
mm-hmm.
And I think
Mm-hmm.
that was like the one in Chicago, for instance, that was his main motivation was bringing healthier foods to his community.
Nice.
And he
Nice.
makes $100,000 off of something that he doesn't even really barely step foot into.
And that's just one supermarket.
And
So
that's just one supermarket. So,
fascinating.
but once again, this is going to be your marketing plan. How are you going to brand yourself? How are you going to market yourself? Because anything is going to have its ups and downs, going to have their amazing moments, right? But you have to really pitch it properly.
Excellent.
Even the tax office, you know, when you think about it, 200,000, and now she's thinking about opening a second tax office. And
Wow.
so she's never going to walk into it probably, but she's like, you know what? It behooves her to walk into both locations because then she can probably make maybe 300 to $400,000.
Woo! In 4 months. Y'all, that's Jatali Bellanton with the Black Wall Street Report. Always giving good tips on how we can invest in ourselves financially and also invest in the community. Love it. Thanks, Jatali.
You're welcome.